Well, hello there, everybody. You should really have been, the before the show thing. I mean, if we could record that, that would be freaking awesome. Because I mean, folks, I just got to tell you, there is some good stuff. That's all I got to tell you. So, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday, and if you find yourself here, then you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And because destiny is not a fool, destiny works hand in hand with fate. And so it was fated your destiny to be here. So we speak favor over all of us, nothing missing, nothing broken, and welcome. And this is a second look. And as you know who I am, but really the two stars are the two ladies, one beside me digitally, and then one beneath me, but actually anyway. So hello, Trina, and how are you, Miss Jenny?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jenny.
Says even a fool seems
Jenny.
wise who keeps his mouth shut. So
that's a hard thing to do too.
Treat them on all great ways and levels. It's I love it. I love this.
well, isn't every wise person a fool to begin with?
The fool is the wisest. Because they're willing to drop over the cliff of what they don't quite understand yet or have experienced yet. The fool is the comedian, which is why the comedians are being so shadow banned, especially the ones that speak truth, because they're able to observe life in all of its seriousness and bring everybody down to a level. If you're in a comedic audience and you get roasted by a comedian, no matter what your skin color, no matter what anything, they can bring you down to that level, and they can sneak truths in while your body's laughing. So the fool is very powerful, very powerful.
Phyllis Diller, I don't know if y'all remember, but Phyllis Diller, I saw her live at a dinner theater, on the Round. And you are right, Jenny. Number one, today she would be banned, on every social media platform. But the comedy was so down to earth, everyone could relate to it because it was true.
Yeah, and you can't argue with it because you've thought all of those things yourself. You've wished you've been brave enough to say them. Everybody has. And there are stereotypes that we should learn to laugh at and find endearing rather than challenging and disruptive, and comedians can really level that playing field. And they've been a huge victim of the powers that be shadowing the places where they can put out that comedic. Laughter makes people well. They used to send...
It heals you.
They used to send comedians into the hospitals in the UK, and the kids responded to it so beautifully because they were able to forget about the pain for just a few minutes. They were able to raise the endorphins, which heals the body. So it's a powerful source, laughter.
Book of Proverbs says, laughter doeth the heart as a good medicine.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, Jenny, love the hat.
I like it.
It's got a certain je ne sais quoi, Ooh la la.
Thank you.
Sure, the check's in the mail, so
I've sent it.
No, I'm sending it to you. Remember, it says, Trina, what's up, girl? I hear it's hot where you are. Hot.
It's really, really, really hot. It's very hot, and the energy is beautiful. It's powerful. This, Lion's Gate that we're approaching today, right? Today is the Lion's Gate.
I think it is, yeah.
It is the Lion's Gate. Yeah, and the energy is very powerful. Anchor every dream you have about this planet into your consciousness right now. Keep your vibe high, and that's laughter. Laughter changes your vibration. It's medicine, and it's medicine for all of the planet. When you laugh, it's contagious. Anybody around you, if they don't even know what you're laughing at, they'll start to laugh too. It's a beautiful frequency.
I laugh at myself all the time.
Me too.
Of course, I can't find anyone more intelligent than myself. By that, I mean who really understands myself. So then when I laugh with myself, are we having a party?
Yes.
No kidding, man. We're having a party. So hot
place.
What's that, Jenny?
hot lady in a hot place.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody in the chat room. I saw, hello, Lauren. How are you doing? Deborah, Nina, how are you doing? Nina's got a new channel. What is it? Help me out, Nina. The non-religious truth channel, something like that. I think I'm close. So check her out. Make sure you subscribe. Lauren's good to see you. Mary wins. Hello. A lot of folks in here. I did see Darlene earlier. Yeah, I know who Robert is. It's like, yeah. Hey, Lilith, what's up? Good to see you, my dear. So dreams, folks, I tell you what, my dreams, like last night was, I don't know if you've all ever heard of Fire Sign Theater, but they were this comedy troupe. And anyway, my dreams last night, I was a detective.
Oh.
No shit. A
Fine.
detective. I mean, and I knew I was dreaming this. What I didn't know was the script was unfolding because it's a freaking dream, but it's like that movie Inception. Did y'all ever watch that?
I think
Yeah, I
years
think
ago.
you have.
Yeah. So the whole reality is that dreams can be manipulated.
Yeah.
That's true.
What's y'all thought in that? Do you think that some outer force or influence can infect a person's dream? Because when we're dreaming, we're not in this realm. We're not even in our bodies, right?
Your
If you think
consciousness.
about it, sorry, you go, Trina. Go on, because I know you're going to say something.
Okay, and don't forget your thought. What the thing is our consciousness isn't in our mind right now. It's always sitting outside of us in a field of energy. So it's not in your mind anyway. So yeah, anywhere your consciousness goes, it can be affected by anything that could be affected here or other places.
And yeah, and that field that I knew you were going to say that field is penetrable by you and by others. So you know yourself, if you fall asleep with a movie on, you can very often dream of a similar setting of that movie. So if you fall asleep with a zombie movie on, you're slaying bitches all night, If you fall asleep, with a tranquil sort of so it's be careful what you have on when you go to sleep, because absolutely they can be penetrated for good or bad by yourself and by outside forces. And indeed, don't think for 1 minute they can't use the satellites to do that. Frequency wise, of course they can. All of this is a projection. All of it is. You spoke about it yesterday, Wayne. And all of it is a projection. And if you're in places of power where you have more facilities, let's say, to infect or penetrate the consciousness field, then you can get others to project your dream into reality. And that's what we're seeing today. If you look at everything that you would wish was poof, gone, if enough people were on a frequency of being able to see through the illusions that are being put out for us to then portray, then that would be the Great Awakening. That would be the thing that people speak about, of 1% of people tuning in to a certain frequency at the same time. It would be like a sonic boom going through to what focus they're putting that focus on.
That's the potential of the Lion's Gate. Because we manifest after we create. So we create in the higher realm, and then we bring that into the earth. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we really need to do right now, is focus on your dream. Because if all of us are creating a good world at this time in all of our different ways, we don't want it to match. We want the diversity of the manifestation. So bring heaven to earth now, right now. Do it now. Every time you can get a time to think of, how would my perfect world look? Or how would I see us win this situation that is uncomfortable or something that's not healthy for us? How could we see resolution for all of these issues we're dealing with? Because boy, there's a lot of them. So if you could just start seeing solutions, answers, freedom, just all the things that you love and want, see those things now intensely, because it's going to affect our very near future. Because right now, the portal is open.
Which is why they're working so hard to build projections into the reality. The whole last 3 years was a whole projection. Nobody actually proved of the existence. Nobody actually proved of anything, but the projection was enough to get enough people to be in fear, to then build that dream up for them, to project that out. We see it with immigrants in all different countries at the moment, where there is a building. All of the news headlines is magic. All of it is magic. If people could realize this is a magic realm, and the powers that be understand that if they can project their spell work, their wording into the reality, into the consciousness of people's minds, then they will get the distraction that they need to go and do something else, or they'll get the build that they need to go and facilitate something else to come into the reality. So people being distracted, be careful what you're distracted by, is what I'm saying, because that it's not your dream, it's somebody else's dream. It's somebody else's focus.
This is interesting, because none of this was planned. We don't get together and have a production meeting and go, all right, Jennifer, at such and such point, we don't do that. We just kind of go by with the energy. But so Jenny, I've been reading this book. Tarina and I talked about it right before. This is a book that it's amazing. It says when the student is ready, the material will come. So in my meditation sessions, I've been asking the universe, that source, to show me different perspectives of these realms. So have y'all ever heard of Robert Fludd?
No, I can't see.
All right, check this out. And Jenny and Trina, I'd like your analysis as we go into this. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but I really do want to get y'all's intake. So this is Robert Fludd. He was a Hermetic philosopher, lived in the 16th century, I believe. And he had, epiphany, his visions and his awareness of what this realm is, it moved people back then, because basically in England, the king had made it to be where there was this one company, and nothing could be printed unless they agreed to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this kind of stuff, this esoteric stuff, man, this was, so there was a short period during y'all's Civil War when this was able to come out. And so this is his vision of what man is. And you can see the center is the simian. But man stands above that, and known here as Homo. But then you begin to see the other realms that we are basically immersed into. Comment?
Go on, Trina.
No, you go, Jenny.
If you go onto the first one and this picture, you see the hand signal he's making?
Yes. Oh, here?
The first picture where it's his portrait, and on here he's making
yes.
Yeah, so that's what they would call like a Masonic hand signal. Now it's sort of been hijacked into their space, but he's making that signal because the hand is powerful. The hand represents fire, it represents life, it represents all of the processes of the goddess, which represents life itself. The goddess is the one that brings forth life. And so you see that he's standing on a disc that looks like it could spin.
Yes.
And it's above that, and all of these things are at play. What's that game that came up that you used to get slices? It looked like pizza slices, colored slices. It was like a Monopoly. And this is it. This is what that game was, and it's a game of life.
It's like the Wheel and Fortune in Vegas at a casino.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You spin that wheel.
And the zodiac wheel too.
Yeah. I mean, you got science. You have palmistry. This is what this represents. And each one represents an aspect of us.
Yes. Yeah.
This is another view. He says that we are basically within 3 realms of existence.
All of
And it is the celestial, it is the physical, and then the material.
Remember,
And
Wayne, we're 3 layers of consciousness deep. We're 3 deep, 3 inside 3. They've showed me that 100 different ways. They're like, can you guys grasp this? You're 3 in 1 simultaneously. And that is celestial,
and
physical.
this, Trina, that what you're talking about, this one, absolutely. I love this diagram or picture because you see the wheel in front of the face, and it has all of the chakra colors, and those different frequencies of the chakras speak more predominantly to the senses that you have: your feel, your smell, your sight, your hearing. And then those wheels connect like a clock to other wheels. So you've got one here in the hypothalamus of the brain, the third eye. And so a friend said to me yesterday, she had a breakthrough. She's been on a really holistic journey, it's painful to go on, detoxing the body and whatnot. And she had a real breakthrough in the physical body, but that came after a breakthrough where she changed boundaries in a relationship that she'd been having difficulties with, and had a real breakthrough. And she had said, so Jenny, can the energy points changing affect my physical body? And I said, yes, and vice versa. These layers upon layers are connected with another. No thing is higher, no layer is higher or more predominant or more important than the other, which is why I have an uncomfortability with higher self in the English language. It creates a hierarchy within self, and i.e. heaven. And so this is so depictive of what she had, that breakthrough of me saying, yes, that's when I talk about the layers are interconnected, interwoven, and respond to one another simultaneously and with delay. So that this picture is powerful.
it is. And wait till we get into it. He is a remarkable guy. Yes, ma'am.
It was so funny because, like you said, we didn't plan this. And I didn't know, I hadn't seen any of these pictures. Remember, I told you, I said, hold on a second, let me go grab 2 books. Look what I grabbed. And these both have wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this.
I'm like, you can't make this stuff up.
You can't make it up, man. You can't even, it. Yeah.
So magical. So magical.
Oh, it is very magical. The aspect of who and what we are, the more I'm getting into this, the more I'm realizing how much we lost. There is an aspect of our humanity today that we've lost. And most people have not a clue as to who and what they actually really are.
So much of what we've lost. And a lot of that came in with the manipulation of bringing in the English language. We even lost the throat mass, the throat chakra, the speaking of truth, because a lot of other, even old English, I couldn't go back to the 1700s. I know it's not like in the movies. I know that when I speak to a very Geordie person here, they speak really fast and rhythmically, and I'm going up to and I'm going to go in and get this, and I'm going to it's very poetic, rhythmic, and that's more close to the 1700s, 1500s speak.
Yes.
I wouldn't really easily be able to converse. The English language has making everything very linear, very up or down, higher or lower,
Good or bad.
good or bad, evil
Yeah.
angel. It's made things, and that was deliberate. It was called a wedge, and it's a language wedge. And on all facets, we've lost so much knowledge because all of this, even things, the systems that we live under today, they're in Latin. The law system, the big pharma system, they still use the Latin to hide away truths that they don't want the public to know of. The etymology of certain words is very powerful.
It's changed. It's changed.
And they're changing the language again.
So anyway, just kind of we'll get into more of this. This is, I think, really representative of what we actually are. We're just nothing more than a skin suit. We're so much more underneath. And by the way, we'll get into more of these tomorrow, their meanings unto them. This is woman. And then I just want to end with this because this is Mercury. And I never realized that Geminis and Mercury have a very, as I'm getting more into this palmistry, yeah, we're an air sign, obviously. So this represents, and I just thought I'd throw this out. So this sign of Mercury represents the three distinct worlds manifested out of a realm of light, not the realm of light, a realm of light. When transposed into man, the intellectual world corresponds to the spirit, the celestial world to the soul, and the elemental world to the body. This triplicate cosmology is reflected within the glyph of Mercury as the three components, shapes, respectively, the crescent of the spirit, the circle of the soul, and the cross of matter. The crescent corresponds to the intellectual world, the circle corresponds to celestial world, the cross corresponds to the elemental world.
And that speaks to Mercury's ability to move between planets unlike any other planet. To be able to, the worlds that you've just described that are held in that symbol, it's able to move in a way that other planets aren't able to, which is why the Gemini symbol is like often the two-faced twin, looking at either side, able to navigate the middle line, the middle ground.
See, there's a symbol we'll be talking about tomorrow. And Jenny, you're hitting it spot on, because the Gemini also represents the two pillars that holds the arch of the firmament above this reality.
This to you, Wayne,
Sure.
about
Yeah.
Mercury, because you wanted to know. This is some interesting information about Mercury. Nothing will work without Mercury. Mercury is truly the messenger of the gods. It is the mind fluid carrier, or the bearer of the light, of the electricity. The cerebral spinal system is the generator and the carrier of the physiochemical electricity, which is the energy for life itself. This explains why Mercury is associated with Gemini as its ruler, meaning that all of the activities with which this sign and house have to do are of a mercurial nature. They must thus be interpreted this way. The different rates of vibration, which means all nature's work is accomplished and has received the names of the planets in order that humanity may study the effects that they produce, not only in nature, but in your human body. Metaphysically, Mercury is mind. Physiologically, the cerebral spinal system, the nerves. Chemically, it is quicksilver, an oily or fatty substance, the arginum vivium, or living philosophical silver. Mr. Philosopher, go figure. We learn the true interpretation of quick is living. The root word of Mercury is Latin, the word merx, meaning gods or merchandise, and the various offices attributed to him are analyzed as a vast treasure house of information that is deemed available. In ancient times, this god was identified as the Greek Hermes, son of Jupiter and Maya. He was the messenger of the gods, the inventor of the lyre, which Lyran are the first humans. They say the original humans came from Lyran.
But the damn liars.
That's right. The lyre is a harp. That's
yeah, it is. It is.
Again, that's the English language at play, isn't it? Making life a bad
I don't know.
word.
When you said that, I suddenly see this electric guitar.
And that weird, because this is the electric universe. So the electric would be in this would be the electric guitar. Yes. So then it says, the god of the oratory, the conductor of the souls of the dead to the lower world, and the patron father of the merchants and thieves. As a messenger, Mercury, mind and sensory nerves, utilizes the electrical energy of thought in the subtle nerve fluids created by Father Jupiter, the giver of all good things. In action, he may do this positively and hence beneficially, or negatively and destructively. In any case, Mercury stands for the merchandise, the wares, or the goods utilized in commerce or exchange by the mind and body. As God or oratory, oracle, he refers to the mental power necessary to become a good speaker, one who voices the truth. The reference to the lyre is concerned with a very mysterious organ in the brain, having the name of which is the real source of the singing voice. It is the positive pole, while the negative, its place is where sound is emitted or the vocal cords reside in the throat.
My.
Well, I thought you would like that because you were into Mercury today. I'm like, I'll give you a little different spin on Mercury.
I mean, this is mind coitus. I mean, this is far out stuff. I mean, I just,
Yeah,
others may have known it, but I just get this thing. It's like, and there's a lot of Geminis in here. And there's a lot of all the zodiac signs in here, but we do have a little few Geminis.
Lots.
Jenny.
Brian was a Gemini.
Yes, Brian was.
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I really got to know Gemini a lot through Brian, and then I'm like, go figure, Wayne's a Gemini too. And I'm like, yeah, I love it.
Like, what the hell, man?
I love you guys.
And that's kind of the going with the theme, true friendship is priceless. I mean, when you're amongst real friends, we learn off and feed off of each other, and it's a reciprocated cycle.
Yeah, it's the same as sitting in an audience like the comedians, isn't it? You're relaxed. You can let things go through your veil, your boundaries, because you can trust that what is being put out to you is from a place of love. Whether you agree or disagree with it is okay. It's just a very true friendship is a very balanced place. It's a very it's not an indifferent place. It's true friendship, I feel, brings people with true differences together, but with the ability to have the boundary set much lower, because you can trust. What is being put before you or around you is okay. It's not meant for harm. I love that. I love that. And this space and other spaces I have like it, I covet it. It's very special to me, friendship.
It is. I found that making friends on the other side.
Yeah, my best friends are on the other side.
Yeah, and they're attracted to it. I mean, we speak favor all the time. And yesterday, I mean, I can tell it because it's something weird happened. I don't know, but every time I leave, I speak favor over me, over Lynn, over our vehicles. And so as I'm pulling out onto this highway, I mean, I don't know what happened. I mean, it was clear, and as I pulled out, but suddenly there was another car right there. And I don't know how they did not just simply wipe me out. I mean, or vice versa.
Wow.
And it was so weird because the first thing that came to me, I heard in my spirit mind, favor. Favor is manifested this day. And it was odd because if this had been a normal situation, that person probably would have freaked out, and wanted to pull over and wanted to start this whole thing. And when I pulled up beside them, they just simply waved.
Wow.
It was in a kind. Hey, David, Barry, how are you doing? Go ahead, hon.
Was that the same day I sent the favor stuff to you?
No, but you sent the song to me. This was yesterday morning. I mean, I told Lynn, I don't know how. I said, I should be dead right now. I mean, because the highway is 55 miles an hour.
Wow.
And that would be 80 kilometers, I guess, for you, Jenny, on your side. But
we're in miles per hour. So
yeah,
we work in miles per hour, but yeah, it would have took you out.
Yeah. So favor. And then you sent this song about the guy. It's right on the charts about favor, right?
Oh my gosh, it's one of the top country songs right now on the charts. It's called I Need a Favor. That's the name of the song. And it's an amazing song. It's like, I only talk to God when I need a favor. Yeah, it's amazing. And I remember I told you when I saw you drop favor in, I saw it going worldwide. I saw it go global. The word, I saw it manifesting in our reality. And that song, that was confirmation. I was like, it's here. It's here. It's here. It's done.
Wow.
It's manifest now. And I knew you were going to do this. And I was waiting. And now it's here. So yeah, guys, check it out. It's a new country hit called I Need a Favor. And it's a great song.
You know,
Cool
Guy
that?
has said in the chat and said you may be on a different timeline, Wayne. And you know, when I speak about us jumping in and out more than we realize of different spaces, timelines, I think that person didn't see you either because you didn't jump into each other's space. I think Guy is right. So
Guy, you may be. Yeah, I'm just sitting, and it's weird, folks, because I told Lynn as we were eating dinner, I said, something, and the thing it is, I understand about spatial reality, how we perceive spatial existence. As I told Lynn, I said that car should have been inside our car. You know, we have an enclave. You know, but yeah, and I said, but there were no skid marks. There was no nothing.
Yeah.
I
What
just
the freak?
a reality glitch in the matrix and favor.
Yeah, so I'm talking about that last week, you know, and it's like the video's getting out there a little bit more viral, and you know, and then this, it seems like it's almost exactly this.
Yes.
And then you inject that favor, don't you? Because you sit in there with another true friendship of yours with Lynn, you know, true partnership, true friendship in every way that is possible. You sit in there eating your meal. I know you're savoring every bite, and you're favoring the fact that you're able to sit there and discuss it with her rather than looking on at her from a different space. So that favor, it's a great word because it's a very unlimited word, you know, favor be upon you.
It is.
You're not telling them what kind of favor or how it will manifest. You're just injecting favor into the space for it to be utilized as and when. And so it's a great word. It's a great word to put upon people.
It's a joyful word because, you know, I speak favor over you two beautiful souls, and it's like I favor you.
Yeah, you do.
Well, that's because y'all are really freaking special to me. You know what I mean?
You know what's really strange, Wayne? About 3 days ago, and I hadn't done it in a while, I hand wrote the favor invocation that we redrafted, the long one. So I hand wrote it. It took like 7 pages, but I hand wrote the whole favor invocation, and I read it 3 times the other day. And I hadn't done it in a while. So it's so weird. It's like I knew it was coming. I knew it was needed, and then I was drawn to do it and to read it and to re-go over it. And when you write stuff down, it anchors it different in the soul. So I went through it, I wrote it down, and I said it. And then now you're talking about the favor that you received, and then the song came out. I was like, this stuff is amazing.
The dragon tells me all the time that my essence is that of favor.
Yeah.
It is. You can feel that.
Yeah, he said that's, and it's not it's, I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. But it says that, you know, when they see me, and that's how they see us, is that we actually glow with that which is the grow within inside of us. And he says, you speak it so often that he says it's changed your energy.
Yes.
It's infused it. Yeah, you've infused it like a tea bag. You've kept
Exactly.
It infuses the aura around you like a tea bag infuses the water, you know.
And I'm drinking some of your tea right now.
Oh,
feeling good. Thank you, Wayne.
It's a shameless plug, but I don't think it's shameless at all. You need to talk to Jenny. I see. And I got to tell you, it's I love it's got this, it's a wonderful feeling. It's kind of like this, you know, I kind of dig it, like it's almost like a warm kind of glow type of thing.
Well, again, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a hug from Jenny.
Yeah.
I hold her on and I get a hug too. I get a hug.
Jenny hug.
David Barry says, Jenny, that hat looks really good on you. Yeah, she's hot. I'm telling you. She looks hot, man.
On a horse or the back of a bike. Another horse. I'll pretend.
Now you see this laughter, it like adds life onto our time here. I mean, it does. And
My cheeks hurt.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you walk away, with the cheekbones and the cheek muscles in here. And it's just, got this thing like that. Yeah,
And it's that facial exercise, isn't it? You can exercise
it
your
is.
face crown,
Yeah.
which really, but pulls down all of your body. But when you smile, you feel your shoulders lift up. You feel everything lift. It does lift you from above as well. So a frown
Lynn
pulls
said if it only
down.
would have the effect on the whole body,
Yeah,
particularly you women know what she's
No,
apparently
it
talking
does.
about. It's like,
does,
well, smile, honey.
It does.
I
It
think,
really
I'm
does.
telling you, I don't know that for sure, but I told her, I said, I think there's a thing about that.
It really does. It changes the frequency, and you can't even stop it. So, like,
I
when you
love that.
fake a smile, it's kind of hard to do it, but you can still fake that smile.
Mhm.
Even that will lift your frequency. That's the whole fake it till you make it, because there's certain things that you do with your body that literally helps you. It pulls you
Did
out
you
of your
just say what
funk.
I think you just said? Did you
Well, I don't
just
know.
say fake it until you make it?
Yeah, it's important.
So, true story. I'm sitting Friday and where I sit in my chair in the evening and reading, and no shit, this is exactly do a show on make it
Fake
until
you make
fake it
it.
until you make it.
Yeah, it's so important.
wow.
All right.
So
Yeah,
Would you get out of my head, man?
That's so important in this space, isn't it? Because there's a lot that's being really pushed out there to bring you into a frown position. And so
Yeah.
the ability to force your way through like a Taurus bull and continue to say, I will smile. I don't care what you're trying to say right now or do right now. I'm going to smile through it. That really does get you through to the other side. And it actually really diffuses whatever it was that was trying to make you frown. But you can feel it as above so below on all of the different layers, and as below so above. When anything happens down below, the ovaries lift, the uterus smiles, and you're smiling on the face too, believe me.
Yeah.
When anything happens above, you can feel the pelvic floor lift with that smile. When you laugh, you're exercising your pelvic floor. When you get that belly laugh, you're really exercising your pelvic floor as well as your face. So it is interconnected, and it is so important to have that ability to push through and fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Jimmy Durante said it the best. He said, just make one person smile. If you can make one person smile, you have changed the world.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to fake it till you make it. Because when this world is filled with chaos and there's a lot of bad things going, all you got to do sometimes is look at somebody and smile, give them a hug and go, you know what? It's all going to be okay. That can change everything. Just that little bit of hope. Fake it till you make it.
So you just said
hope.
something again that's really weird, because I watched this video where there was this fight that was taking place, and it kind of spread because humans, and it was interesting because in this melee, this one guy just stopped and hugged the guy he was just wailing, and the guy just went back like this and kind of looked and hugged him back, and it caught on. Everyone stopped fighting.
That's why, because they want to release that energy and it's frustration and all those bad feelings. And what they really want is a hug. They just want somebody to help them process this bad feeling and this bad circumstance. And the reaction is rage and anger, but the ultimate healing tool is a hug.
Yeah.
I had a vision once that on the other side, there is a place where we go to cry. We go to cry, and the thing about it is that it's that hug. It's this place where you want to find your mama and just, and it's a cleansing thing. It's a detoxing thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, when you weep, you're weeping. It's not just crying when you get into that space, it's weeping.
Yeah.
And when a wound weeps, it's getting out what needs to be drawn out. When you have something that's weeping like a wound, or it's created so it can draw out the foreign object, the spelk that's in your finger. Or so weeping is so cathartic and so important. My granny would schedule a regular weep, even though she wasn't a crying person. She knew that she would build up that flow and recognize she would put on a sad movie in order to weep. She would say, I'm going to go and weep now. And she would weep, and that would be that. And she was the happiest, most balanced.
It's so odd we're talking about this, because when I get in deep meditation, I cry.
Wayne, happens every single time. Every time to me. Every single time. Every time I connect to the higher frequencies, I call it leaking, because I'm not even crying, but the tears are just rolling down my face. There's no crying with it. But like Jen said, her grandma does. I've done a couple of those primal screaming process.
That with people,
and wow, that is such a beautiful healing tool. And the weeping, just to intend to take some time out to just purge all the hurt that you don't even know that's inside of you, to literally give it to give yourself permission to say, I now give you permission to let go of anything that I didn't even know that was there. And I'm going to support you through this. And we're just going to cry it out. And that is so healing. And then you're done. You're happy.
It is a purging. You're so right. It is a purging. And she would save up those moments that, she would weep for others, and that was part of her prayer. My granny was a very strong prayer master, and her and I would speak in prayer in tongues most days that I was with her, which was regularly, and that leaking would happen, and she would weep on behalf of others. She would say, he deserves a river of tears, or she deserves a river of tears. And it wasn't sadness. It was a deliberate part of her flow and meditation to put a love out there, a understanding out there, and to diffuse any personal frustrations too. It was a cleansing space that she went into, but she would shout out, it was a family joke, I'm going to go and have a weep now. And she would go and have a week and come back. So
I just thought of a great business. In fact, I'm going to look into it. But imagine this, setting up cry centers around every country. I mean, you could have it in, and you would have trained, counselors in there, but it would be a place where you can come in and have that meditative experience and just cry. And I was thinking, you would soundproof the rooms, because you could have another room in there, which is the primal cry.
Oh, I'm telling you, Wayne, I think it would be grander to bring it out in nature. Give it to the earth. Yes, give it to the earth. I've done these things before. I went to school and we did a lot of these different things, and there is a whole process. And basically what we're speaking of, it's called polarity. These are polarity practices. You learn breath work, exercises, how to move your pain out of your body, how to scream it out, how to cry it out, how to breathe.
So you said that this is almost what I would say, I interpret it as electromagnetic.
Oh yeah.
Now, all right, let me just throw this into the equation, ladies. We are right now, this current generations of humanity, we are in the midst of a magnetic excursion. Our magnetic poles are moving. And I'm just curious, since we are, electric beings, electromagnetic beings, wow, it's you've triggered some thoughts here, because imagine having a meditative therapy where, wow, you'd almost have to do this because of the magnetic influence of our world that's moving and changing, to really keep in tune into that, to where it's not going to be adversely affecting you.
It's so powerful.
Wow, this is, man.
Yeah. And I will tell you, when you do these things inside a home, you have to clear the home, and it takes a lot of work. The energy that comes out is so freaking powerful. it is hard to get it out of the home. So that's why I say, when you're working with some real weeping and primal screaming and stuff like that, give it to Gaia. Boy, she just takes it right in like a sponge. And when you do primal screaming, you have to be concerned because people think there's a murder happening. So if you do this near your home, you do need to notify your neighbors. And what I would suggest is have them bring a pillow so they can put the pillow over their face while they scream as loud as they can.
I'm thinking about having a box out in the wood that is totally insulated, that, it's soundproof. And so you just stick your head into it and do what you got to do, but you're still connected to the earth, and no one's going to hear you.
Especially if it had copper poles. If you were building
there's an idea.
To plug it into the ground, because I agree with Nina. I take clients out to the coast over the cliff and get them to scream over there, because the nature does help me with that role, in that that's a lot of energy to hold. I don't want to hold it on me.
Right.
So I'm going to be there to guide. So the nature really diffuses it. A few weeks ago, I took some clients out to a spot that I found in the forest where there's a campfire there ready. Few people use it, but they were guided through their breath work, and then they were guided into the woods by me. We were howling like wolves, because that's what these men needed. They needed to howl like wolves. And at first, I had a very big man, big client, big, strong guy. And I reached into him as I was doing is sort of massage. And I reached into him and I could see this so frightened child. And this isn't an oddity, this is normal, in that when I was asking him to make a noise, in that space, the noise that was literally coming out was It took me half an hour to draw that noise up to get him to go and that energy, it sent off a sonic wave of energy.
That's what I was going to say, Jen.
I needed nature to carry that off. I needed
when we did that as a group, it felt like the earth physically shook.
It does.
It probably did.
When I really started to understand when you say mountain move, it will move. That was when I realized, oh my God, this could be real, because it felt like the ground moved beneath us. And literally the other 30 people that were there, we all looked at each other like, did you just feel that too? Like we were all like checking each other. Like, did you feel that? It was palatable. It was so powerful.
They say that this is what the Christ did in the Passion.
Yes.
That they and if you read, the story, but in theology, they teach that his moment of that passion moment, that they said that the very ground split open.
Yeah.
Because he was literally pouring, some say, his very soul out.
That's very interesting, because they say too that they secretly put the Ark of the Covenant beneath his feet under the Golgotha, and his blood literally bathed the mercy seat, and that was the Magick that released us from the bondage of our genetics, and our bondage of our genetics being released and freed over time. And that was the correction, which would be the redemption of Sophia. It's so profound when you get deep into this stuff.
Yeah, if you extrapolate, pull out the religious connotations and look at what's really being said. It's
esoteric, metaphysical.
Yeah, esoteric. Yeah.
Well,
wow.
If you look at that story, they've gone and put him on a cross. So instead of praising and lifting up life, and the blood source of life and that covenant, what they do is they flip it around, they turn it upside down. So it's a death covenant now. They wear a death symbol on they're practicing necromancy when they talk about the resurrection.
And I just wrote
that. Isn't exactly. Go ahead, huh?
I just wrote that. Like the synchronicities that we're having is stupid crazy today. I just wrote down, I was like, this is nuts. I just wrote down the true cross, is the symbol of the star, because we are light. So the cross was an ancient symbol of the four directions. It's the light. So I wrote down, the soul star and the earth stars are the two stars that united to give you your physical body. You are a star. So the true cross of this planet are two stars coming together to create a new creation, which is you. You are the cross. You are the star. The substance of the human body does not differ from that of the celestial bodies. Therefore, also understand, dear ones, we influence and affect tremendously each other and the stars.
Which is why I said, Trina, you are so spot on. I said we create constellations through consciousness. It's just whether we can see them or not. And when two beings come together to interact, to touch, which is the infinity symbol, when that touching happens in the middle of the infinity, all of a sudden there's another star birthed, and there's a cross within that constellation. And so when they're trying to manipulate us about the weather, again, it's projection, because if they can get us to project fear over the changes in weather, or the non-changes in weather, then you better believe that the fear will be projected out, and so we'll create something to be fearful about. When we are projecting the old sun worshippers, how dare they, Satanists, when we're praising the sun and saying thank you, we really put favor upon you, then you know your garden's going to do well, because you're projecting that out, and the sun is only happy to project that with you.
Oh, Jen,
smile.
Thank you. That was another one of the biggest messages I've been getting for 3 days. You send favor to the sun, and you just spoke the words out of your mouth. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Favor to the sun.
I brought it in. Wow, to see, and that's the infinity cross. That's where
I'm like,
brought that message in, and I spoke it out. That's the birth of that now. And so we really do need to take ownership of how powerful we are, and how powerful the projections are that we put out there, and how we do need to be magis and adepts and wizards and warlocks and all of those things that represent the adept, to say no, this far, no further to that projection. Thank you very much. This is where you're finding a lot of people like us becoming very expansive. We're becoming very insular. We're not sort of being of this world right now very much. We're in small groups of people. We're in trusted groups of people. Because we're building a different projection. And that is where the adepts, really need to come in there. And, of course, it's, how can a chakra points affect the physical body? Then somebody says, I don't affect the sun. I know I affect the sun. I know I do. I know I do. It speaks to me. How can they say that the plasma in the sky isn't affected by the plasma within me? Of course it is. That is the blood of the universe. That is the blood of the consciousness. That is the covenant that I accept, so get your adepts on, projected. I'll just do a little,
And it's so interesting as you've been talking, because we're going to get into palmistry. I found out that I have what they call the cosmic or mystical cross.
Me too.
And it's interesting because to find out, I would think that a lot of us may have this, because this is apparently written. It says that God puts his imprint in the lines of our hand. Yes. In other words, that, each of us are gods within ourselves. We have this master plan that's in our hands. And I didn't realize this, but up until the 17th century, a physician would look at your palm first.
And your tongue and your eyes.
Before they would make, yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Gaia says many people do. There you go.
Yeah. It's an imprint. If the individual god or goddess of each one of us, whether we choose to accept it though, is we've all got different fingerprints.
Yes.
How magical is that? How magical is it? We've all got the same organs, these hands, these structures, but they're individualized with swirls and things that can't be replicated ever. My babies haven't got the same fingerprints as me. They haven't.
Identical twins have different
Exactly,
fingerprints.
different
None of us are
fingerprints.
yeah, we're all so beautifully designed and
Yeah.
so differently designed. And
Yeah.
that's the magnificence of creation. It's so beautiful.
That's why they
to
say
understand.
palmistry or chiromancy is so legitimate, because it's been around for tens of, as long as, I never realized it. I've been drawn towards it. And now I'm going, all right, the student's ready,
Yep. I love it. I love it.
Because, I'm still that kid out there on the playground,
I am too. And like I said, we should really do try to put together a group, maybe at Brian's, and start to do some of these protocols and exercises together, because I would just, it would just be wonderful to see the manifestation to that.
Yeah, y'all come out and play too. I like the monkey bars, I just gotta tell you.
God, I was like, God, is
I like the monkey bars with me on your shoulders. To get up initially, and then I'll go off.
I love this. I mean, but we should. I agree with you, Trina. I think this group, we could probably do like a private Zoom.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The people, we've known each other for a while. And the people that I did all of this work with, I never met any of these people before in my life. And it was so powerful. I can't even imagine what it would be like to work with people who actually have a familiarity and an innate love already built in. I can't even imagine what would happen.
And this is where the baby's been thrown out with the bathwater, in that we've needed to move away from this virus of necromancy, of organized religion, and you move away so much, which you sort of have to, but then you come back to center Mercury and realize that, Wayne, the prayer groups. I grew up with prayer groups at the house, and I would roll my eyes, but there would be a men's prayer group one day of the week and then a women's prayer group, and I witnessed things moving. I witnessed bones that were broken moving. When you've got a group of people speaking in tongues, or doing a chant, a mantra, or laying on hands, you can't walk in that room sometimes if you're not invited by your frequency.
Okay, that is interesting. I'll share this in go ahead, hon.
I was going to say, don't forget your thought, but Wayne, that's so true. Well, I've charged my stones that I do body work with and grounding with. Do you know that that's one of my warnings? I have to warn every female that enters into that room, do not enter this room if you have a child or you think you are pregnant.
Yes.
And they look at me, they go, why? I said, because the grounding energy might bring the fetus into this realm before it is time. So you are not allowed to go near these rocks because it can harm you. So this is so true. And it has happened to pregnant women. That's why they know not to put them on the stones.
Well, we would have prayer groups, and because we didn't have cell phones back then, but I have been in a group where we actually there was a cloud that manifested, and no one could come into the room. In fact, we were told by the pastor, our pastor at that time, that people were being slain in the spirit, not even inside the sanctuary.
Yeah.
We've seen chairs move. We've seen things float in the air. I mean, that's why, it doesn't surprise me about the spirit realm. It's alive.
Of course
it's there.
Separate too. It's just
it is. Yeah. But this is a good idea. We could actually do this into a group that you would feel very comfortable with, it
doesn't even need to be large, but we could see some powerful things. And when two or more come together, this isn't about religion. This is about love.
And I contend that each of us have this power language. Yeah. Now, religion hijacked it and said, well, it's, the speaking in tongues. I believe that we all have a language that we knew before we came here.
Yeah.
And if you cultivate it, this language can come out, and it can be powerful in what it can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they need to be childlike in that space when that lightning bolt hits you, to remember in this corporeal body that language and be able to speak it out. It's like a it's like a Kundalini experience. It's
It
a zap.
is.
It's a, you know, I remember as a kid when that came in and my whole body was shaking. It was like there was no if, buts, or maybes. And children like Theodore, he's got his own made up language that made him speak gobbledygook to other people. But I encourage it because he expects me to absolutely understand what he's saying, and I do, by his intonations, by his tone, and that's great practice for his tongues to finally come in when they decide to be birthed into this. And it's very individual, like the fingerprint. It's very individual, like the phone call.
And I know we got to wrap this up. It's important, you know. So I was meditating this morning, and you think about how many different ways we communicate. We can communicate with our words. We can communicate with our facial expressions. We can communicate with our hands. We can communicate with our body language. We can communicate telepathically, mentally. I do it with my dog all the time. We have a language. I mean, she can just simply think that she has to go out, and I can pick up on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I do it with my cat when I know she wants to be in. You can't hear her. She doesn't make a loud enough noise, but you go to the door and there she is. She's needing to be in. And so you'd have to just maybe hook into it and be more relaxed and childlike about it for those languages to flow. We speak with energy. We speak with aura before we even enter a room. You know,
we do. Yeah.
So there's so many layers that we can communicate on, but yeah, we do need to congregate. We do need to reclaim what's been hijacked and limited.
Yeah. We can use this medium, and that's what it is, medium.
Yeah.
Trina, are you busy typing?
I am. And, you know, I'm wondering, Mary timed Eric out. And, you know, Mary's had a lot of hacking issues. And I haven't heard from her. And I'm like, I better hear from you soon, Mary. Are we going to be blocking some mysterious Marys that keep showing up on the internet? But you see us
coming together like this in small little enclaves. You know, small groups can do a lot of influencing.
I think it would change the world. I've been seeing this my whole life. They said, you'll find your tribe. That's why I tell you guys, you have no idea how monumental you are in my world. You're part of why I came here. And they said, when you guys come together and realize what you are, you will teach the world how to heal the world. It's like we will make massive changes.
My thunder stick, the one that Jenny made, it's
so powerful.
I feel like freaking Thor at times, you know.
I was gonna say,
calm the thunder down. Oh, all right, folks. We gotta go. God, I love y'all. This is just I love this. This is the camaraderie that transcends this realm. You know, it does.
Yeah. Let's so congregate. Special.
Yeah, let's congregate. I like that, you know, because congregate goes with propagate, and propagate goes with, you know, extrapolate. Extrapolate brings out that, you know,
that energy to set Congress.
And away we go.
It's like stew. It's got all these wonderful ingredients, and it never comes out the same, but it's always just
I love that. All right. Thank you, everyone in the chat room, everyone listening. Hit the like button. We like that. And make sure you subscribe to these ladies. I mean, what is wrong with y'all people? They should be already into the tens of thousands. So, you know, yeah, I call it out, calling those things that be not as they are.
That's right. You know, if we could do something fun with this, it's ironic. I had a producer at my house spent the night here the week because he was traveling from another state to Vegas. And I'm like, sure, come here and sleep. It's cheaper than a hotel. A great person. And, you know, Ryder Lee popped by the other day. I keep getting all these people making movies showing up at my house in the past couple months. It's kind of odd.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I want that be sane.
congregating people. I'm like seeing all these things. I'm like, oh shoot, that might
You'd be awesome in a lead role presenter. You'd be
Yeah.
So would
awesome.
you, and so would you. So yeah, I don't like to do things solo, so I need friends.
I'll cheer you up.
What are friends for? You know,
Just
that's
come
what I'm
along,
saying.
yeah.
You
Just
know,
come with me. Come on. I don't, yeah.
now I
I
got
need my
Elton John
people.
in the back of my head. You know, I hope the day would be a lot of highways,
Now that's
meeting
funny
friends
because
along the
Elton
way,
John,
huh?
he's been spoken out my mouth. That's funny. Another synchronicity. At least 3 times in the last 3 days, I've spoken of Elton John because my uncle knew him.
Ah,
And so they got friendly at Metro radio station. So I've got a picture of him and my uncle, and it's come up 3 times. Elton John and his songs have come through at different conversations that have sort of hit the point, you know. So yeah.
yeah, we got this thing going, you know. Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, we do.
So crazy.
All right, everyone. We love y'all so much. Thank you. Ladies, it's a magical hour with y'all. That's all I gotta say.
You
And
too.
I am
Love it.
honored, and you know, it just validates this favor thing because you see, I'm favored because I have two beautiful spirits like y'all.
Yeah, we're
We're
shield
favored.
Hey,
maidens.
You
man.
got away.
Shield
Yeah.
maidens by the side of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know,
Uh-huh.
Jen and Wayne, you're my brother star because I found, you know, sisters. We're
Oh,
stars.
yes.
We're sister stars. So
Yes,
you are
yeah.
my sister. You're my brother, but you are my sister because you're a star in my world, in my heaven, and in my brain. And as above, so below. So with that, I shine to you, my friend, and thank you for shining on me. You are my sister.
Yes, shining star.
Love you,
Yeah,
Tree.
my
No matter
sister.
where you go. Yeah. All right, everybody. We love y'all. We'll see you next Tuesday for sure. Have a